Good morning, everybody. We're back in the car today. This is, I think, only the second time we've had two people in the car with me. We're joined by Phanya Pick and Eric Pick in the back. I made Eric get in the back because I didn't want to ride next to him. I thought, no, I'm going to ride next to the hottie. So we are just heading out. I've been looking forward to doing this interview for quite a while. These guys are an amazing story, and so some word just came out of Phanya's mouth that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But for those of you who haven't been with us before, here's the deal: is I'm going to drive them around Lakewood for a little bit. I'm going to ask them some questions about their business, about networking, how it's been working for them at Ignite U, and they don't know what the questions are. I don't know what the questions are. I kind of have a general idea, and so we're going to just have a good time driving around. I'm just trying to make it out of the parking lot without getting killed. And so let's do this first.
Ooh, the hot seat.
The hot seat. Panya's nervous.
I am.
So tell us, either one of you, tell us who you are and about your business. How long you been in business, all that good stuff. What do you guys do?
All right. My name is Phanya Pick with Pick Massage Therapy, of course. And we've been in business, well, in a couple of days. Next week, on the 6th, we'll be 3 years old. So we're really excited about that.
On April 6th?
April 6th, yep.
So your business birthday is the day after Sherry's regular birthday. She'll be 46 and you'll be 3. So you guys were both doing massage for other business owners before you started your own business, right?
Correct.
How long were you guys doing massage? How long have you guys both been doing massage? Because you guys actually went to school together. That's where you met, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how long have you been doing massage?
And we've been doing massage for 8 years each.
Well, Panya's been doing it 8 years each. I actually quit for a year and a half because I thought it was done, and then got drawn back into it, and especially kicked off when Phanya came home wanting to open up our own massage place because she was sick and tired of all the BS that comes with
Working for somebody else?
Yeah.
Yep, I know how that goes. I think that's probably a lot of people in Ignite U know how that goes.
Exactly.
So you've had your business for 3 years, and I know you've had your ups and your downs because you've had multiple locations you've been at because you've had landlords who haven't played as nice as you've wanted.
Right.
Which, by the way, these guys were just telling me that since they moved in with Michelle Marconi, our chiropractor up on Hilltop, that their business has been screaming awesome, right?
It has. For the last 4 or 5 months, every month has been our best month.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, so let's jump into some networking stuff. So tell me, how long have you guys been with Ignite U?
Almost 2.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years, about mid-May.
So you had been in business for a year, then you found us, then you joined.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then he was so excited about the group, and he said,
Well, why wouldn't he be?
well, he said networking, and I was like, oh, hell no. It's all you. I said no. And then...
Well, the way I got introduced to it, it wasn't networking. It was, hey, you got to come join this group. We just go have lunch and talk about our business, and I'm like, okay. And so I had no idea what networking really even was.
So you guys had never been networking before.
No.
You didn't have any concept of what it even was. Someone told you that come to have lunch, we talk about our businesses.
Yeah.
All right, so how'd it go the first time you walked in the door there, Mr. Pick?
Mine was a lot easier. I still had that, like, oh my gosh, where am I at? Am I in the right place? And Sherry comes up and introduces herself, and she's like, okay, I've heard so much about you from Jen and Tammy.
Which was Jen Gustin and Tammy Scheit, right?
And so that eased my nerves a little bit. I got introduced on a Tuesday, and at that time I think there was 40 people.
Was
that
there?
was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now it's 100. So.
Yeah, now we're over 100 every Tuesday. That's funny. So when you checked out that first time, And then did you sign up right away, or did you have to go home and talk to Panya?
I had to go home and talk to the boss.
So tell me then. Actually, Panya's going to tell this part a lot better, I can tell. So tell us, when he came home and told you about this Ignite You and stuff, what was your reaction?
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
Yeah, I was like, what's never? He's already filling out the credit card, putting in all the info, and he's like, I said, oh hell no! And then the next week, he's like, you gotta come, and I'm like,
Well, it was that next Friday.
Next Friday. He's like, you gotta come. It's gonna be fun. And I'm like, I went, and I was flipping shocked, like being called up in the front, and I was, oh man.
That was one thing I didn't actually have to do, because on that Tuesday, you just like stand up at your table and introduce yourself.
Oh, we were small enough at that point. We weren't doing the front of the room stuff.
Yeah.
So, but on Fridays we call people up. That was Panya. That's funny.
Yeah.
So, because I remember when you guys first joined, you like hardly talked. You hardly spoke to anyone. You were really shy, humongous introvert. And that has changed. It's funny, over the last 2 years, watching that develop and change has been, well, that's quite a story just watching it. To go from, oh, hell no, to now you're doing a lot of this stuff, and it's just crazy to watch. So
now it's really fun meeting people and talking about what we love to do. So that's...
So how do you guys split your time? So you you both attend, not always on the same days, or I can't remember how you guys, and I know you have a kid that you work with as far as his schedule, and then you've got, obviously you have massages that are scheduled. So how do you guys work your schedule? Who attends when?
I generally attend every meeting.
Okay.
And then, so we block out the time so I can attend. At least one of us will be there. Fridays, we're actually gonna change the hours to where we start massaging at like 10:15, right around there, because Panya can be there every Friday.
Yeah.
And so
you're gonna be there every Friday, and this was the oh hell no!
This was her idea.
Was it your idea?
Yeah, it is my idea.
I love it. Oh hell no! I'll be there every Friday.
I'm not a morning person, but it's really important to take your business to the next level, and that's what I want to do. It's important, and so we block off that time to make an appointment to be there. So Panya just gave us nugget number 1 is, if you want to take your business to the next level, you have to show up. And so I was waiting for the first nugget to come out, and there it was. She hit it, and that she said that she's not a morning person. If you guys have ever been through our boot camp, you hear what I say when I talk about this, is that there are people who will tell us, oh yeah, I don't get up on Friday mornings. I'm just not a morning person, so I don't go to that. And typically, those people, you can always tell they're going to be in a struggle, or their business probably won't be around. If that's their thing, that they say, I'm not a morning person, that's why I don't go to Fridays, their business doesn't go to that next level like Panya was talking about. So that's nugget number 1, is if you want to go to the next level, you got to show up, and you got to make those sacrifices. You got to get out of bed. You got to be there when when you might not even want to be there, because you might want to do some other stuff, but you have to get your business out there. Did I say that about right? Yep.
Just like you would have said, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Word for word, right there.
So let me ask you this then. So you guys have been around for 2 years, and I just asked you when you got in the car, because I know Eric runs these numbers and stuff, and so tell me what the number is. There's a lady over here dancing. Oh, she was dancing on the side of the street. In the last 2 years, what have you seen in revenue come through from Ignite You?
From Ignite You and referrals from it, we've done just right around 27,000 in less than 2 years through the group.
Yeah.
That's huge. And then you were just talking about that, actually right now you're averaging about $2,000 a month from Ignite You and referrals coming through every month.
Yes.
That's insane. That's a lot. That's a lot of massages.
It actually blew my mind, because not until you asked me probably in December kind of how it's going and things like that did I
You never looked at it.
really never really looked at it. I knew we were seeing quite a bit of people, and
Wow. So, by the way, we are at Classy Chassis right now, and we're going to run through the car wash. And this is where this trip is sponsored by Classy Chassis. So, we're actually going to give Panya and Eric this free car wash coupon
We need
from
a car
Classy
wash.
Chassis. Yeah, I was looking at your car. You need a car wash. So, you guys can bring this back over. You should go live when you come back over on the Facebook group. But there's your free coupon.
Oh, nice.
And I gotta get
Love
up to
it.
Amber because I'm out now. So, so $27,000 roughly. And good morning. How are you? In massages in the last 2 years. So tell me, when you guys first joined, did you have you weren't both coming, right? Didn't you split? Well, no.
we were both.
Both split, I think.
I think for the most part, I was the more consistent one. When she didn't have to work, or we would block out time to.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But we made it a priority that one of us was going to be there, and now it's.
So is that the number one thing that you're finding as far as you being able to get business from the group is showing up, that you have to be there?
Yeah. And then we also do shop in the group, and we also referral to the group if anybody needs anything. And we also do shout outs. That was a big struggle for me, but you guys really pulled me onto the floor, and
Maybe gave one of the best shout outs I've ever heard. Started off.
So doing shout outs and interaction with people. We play every game on Facebook, I swear. And also, like, a big shout out to Brian Harding too, because we really wanted to play the game, and we took every picture of his truck. I mean, I followed his truck 20 minutes to get a good picture.
You followed Brian Harding's truck for 20 minutes to get a decent picture.
Down Pacific Avenue.
Down Pacific Avenue. I mean, we wanted to hang out with him. We wanted to play the game.
And you won.
Yeah.
And you got to go for the Columbia Tower.
That was such an awesome
Yeah,
experience.
it was really awesome.
So I think in a second here we're gonna have some
Interference.
yeah, you're not gonna be able to hear us very well. So let's. I think we're coming up to it. I want to make sure you can hear these guys. These are such fun stories. I don't think in any of the other interviews with anyone I've had in the car, I don't think I've laughed as much as I have with Panya and Eric. These guys are so much fun. I think I'm coming up to it. So you show up, and then the other thing was you started doing shout outs for people,
Yes.
which is something we talk about in boot camp a lot. And your shout outs are you're able to have that real estate, so people are you're actually doing good stuff for the other person, talking about their business, but then you also are able to get more exposure in the room for your business, right?
Yeah, like you give what you get in a way. I guess that makes sense.
We're at that point.
You know what? It's funny because that thing didn't go. I'm gypped. that didn't do it. That's okay though. So then you had another one on there you talked about, which was nugget number 2, is you are supporting the other businesses. So you're not just expecting people to come and do business with you. You've actually been doing business with other members as well on stuff that they offer, right?
Yeah.
So when you show up, what is your mode of operation? When you guys, when you come into the room on a Friday or a Tuesday, do you have any You know, we've talked about some other people. Kern Dillard had 3 things he was trying to accomplish. Some other people had some things that they tried to accomplish. Do you have any type of agenda that you're trying to do when you're there, or people you're trying to meet, or what do you do when you're in the room?
What do you do?
Me, I like to come in with high energy, have fun, be noticed, and then I think that helps me relax myself a little more. And then, for the most part, just kind of scan the room, see if there's someone I can talk to or whatnot.
Would you consider yourself an introvert as well, Eric?
Yeah.
So both of you guys are introverts. And so you're both coming into a room as introverts trying to get noticed, right? Make sure people know who you are. And still, over the last 2 years, you pulled $27,000 worth of massages out of a room being introverts.
Yeah.
So there's got to be, to me, I think there's the biggest key to that. Tell me if I'm wrong, is the showing up part. Because you can show up and be an introvert, and it's almost like you're still trying to figure it out on what to do, right? And on how to be the most effective. Because that's the way I always feel as an introvert in somebody else's room. It's like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do, really, to be effective.
There's actually a lot of introvert people in the room, but I don't know, we really...
Some people can do a better job of breaking out of it.
Yeah, I don't throw ourselves out there. I am horrible at smiling. I don't smile, but...
And hugs.
I heard you love to hug. I heard hugging's one of your favorite things.
So...
And not one of those little sissy hugs, like a big hug, right?
Right. I mean,
Bear hug.
I have to see you a few times. Yeah, I don't know. I have to see you a few times to have you hug me.
So
don't just be like, hug. I'm like, okay, wait.
So we'll like wait till the 3rd meeting and then hug you, right?
Yeah, wait till the 3rd meeting, please.
Okay, so let me ask you this one. I want to go back a long ways because I love your guys' story and your business, you know, and you guys were just talking about. Tell me before I even go to this one. So you don't have to give me any numbers, but you told me about when you moved in with Michelle Marconi, and I think this is your 3rd location.
Mm-hmm.
This is yes.
So tell me, because you said that you had done more business since you moved in there in a certain period of time than you did all of last year.
Yes.
Tell me that again. What was that? What was that?
So we moved in there end of like the last week of August. And so from that point till now, we've done more in that span than we did all of last year. And last year was our biggest month. So we've grown each month.
Last year was your biggest month.
Biggest year.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this one. Michelle Marconi Chiropractic, is also an Ignite You member.
Yes.
Does that, and she comes all the time as well. She came through boot camp, realized that she needed to be there all the time. So she's doing the same things as you guys as far as attending all the time now. Do you think there's a correlation between how your business has grown and the fact that you are having a space with another Ignite You member, and you guys are sharing in that growth and those, you know, those ideas and all that stuff you're around here? Do you think there's a correlation?
I think there is, yeah. I mean, we didn't even really know her when she reached out to us. So this was like a hit or miss of like whether it's gonna work or not. And it seems like as we've gotten to know them as people, they've become some of our best friends that we've had. And now, like, Ignite You's got... We don't fight over, like, who comes in, because she's got her massage therapists who are great as well.
Mm-hmm.
You guys aren't competing.
We're not competing, no. Not at all, because...
Which is funny. So Michelle has her own massage therapist in there, and you guys don't fight or compete or anything. and it's a great place for you to be, and you've expanded and you've done great things. And like when you were in your first location in Tacoma, it's like you were fighting with a landlord and you couldn't make it happen. But now all of a sudden you come to a place where it's actually another massage therapist, and there's no competition. It's a nice place to be. Isn't that crazy?
I think we all realize it's not about us. It's about
Serving
It's
people.
about serving people.
Nice.
Serving the patients that come in, looking out for their best interests. Whether if we're not a fit for them, then they've got JD and Aaron there, and if those two aren't a fit, they've got us. I mean, teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely,
right?
that's awesome. Let me ask you this one. When you moved in there, I think you guys were really close to maybe throwing in the towel on the whole business. Am I right?
Pretty much
Yes.
we're-
Yeah.
So you guys, because you it just wasn't gelling, wasn't happening, and all of a sudden, and you were saying, Eric, that you guys didn't even really know her,
yeah.
but you'd known of her or a little bit about her via Ignite You,
Yes.
and all of a sudden this Ignite You member comes out and offers you space that you've thrived. Is that about right?
It is.
Yeah.
So, wow, for those other people who there's so many people who think of this networking as I'm only going so I can find business. If you hadn't been networking for the last 2 years, and if we really drive this back, had you not been introduced to Ignite You from Jen Gus and Tammy Scheit, and been in our group, and then been able to make the connection with Michelle Marconi, you'd more than likely be out of business right now.
Yep. We probably wouldn't even be in this state because that was our plan: is sell everything, pack up, and leave. I mean, the only thing we ended up selling was a car to keep our business going.
Wow. So Michelle Marconi, if you're listening, actually Michelle Marconi, Tammy Scheit, and Jen Gusson, if you're listening, I think you guys played a huge role in these guys being successful. And so if I had a hat, I'd tip it to you right now.
Oh, I have one big shout out though.
Shout out.
I shout out. I really have to give props and admire to Sherry Murray. She was so hard on me, and I was like,
I think she went home and cried a couple times.
I know. I think I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. I just got ruined by Sherry, but now I get it. I really appreciate Sherry, and we love you guys.
Now when you say you got reamed out by Sherry, it wasn't a bad thing,
It
right?
wasn't a bad thing. It was great. Like
At
we
first
needed
it
it. At first it was.
She gave you some tough love, right?
Yeah, she gave me some tough love.
That's
so,
what it was, and sometimes that's a little hard to hear.
Yeah, it was really hard, but now we got it together.
That's
Like,
awesome.
So
I want to go back then. I was going to ask you this question, and then I got diverted with all this other stuff. I'm going to go back, to Panya's beginning. You didn't grow up here.
no.
So where did you grow up?
I was born in both my parents are Cambodian, and we moved to Thailand because there was a war going on, and I was born in a Thailand refugee camp, Red Cross camp.
And how long did you live in a Thai refugee camp?
Probably when I was a baby. I don't remember. But then we got sponsored by church to move to Europe. And then we went to America. We got sponsored by
How old were you when you came here?
3.
You were 3 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 years old.
And do you have brothers and sisters, or is it just you?
No, I have sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah, I have one down in Olympia and one in Tacoma. And then I have like 2 stepsisters.
I always love this story because people always, there's always excuses for why if you're a business owner, why it doesn't work or why it's just too tough or why whatever. And these guys have been through mountains and mountains of crap. I mean, really, the mountains of crap. And it would have been probably 50 different times. It just would have been a lot easier for them just to say, screw it, give up, and throw in the towel and sell everything and move out of state and do whatever. And I look at it and I see, it's not just Panya. It's the two of them and their connection together and the combination of what they do. But here's a lady who grew up, was born in a Thai refugee camp, in preemie, and was forced to be born there because she would have been in the war zone, And so we have people here in our country who they, comparatively speaking, have everything, all the advantages. And I look at Panya and I'm going, there was no advantages. There were just, she wasn't born with the advantages that we have. And now they come in together. They make it work. They're, in my opinion, I think they're crushing it. They take those adversities that they've been through and make them into opportunities, and they're just crushing it. So I love to keep watching the story of these two and what they're doing, because I think it sets a tone for anybody else who wants to be successful. And I think they can go look at it and go, wow. Look at Eric and Phanya Pick and what they're doing and what they've been through, the battles they've overcome. And if they can do it, then we can do it. And I think you guys set a really great example for people. I think you're very inspiring to people. I think that's a huge thing especially for our Ignite You group. And I think that's why you do so well. And I think you make such great connections and friendships with people, because they look at you and they go, wow, you're one of us. You're the family. So I kind of went off on a tangent there.
Well, if it wasn't from Ignite You, we wouldn't be able to do what we love. So we really appreciate.
Do you guys network
family.
anywhere else, or is this it?
We
We
network a
started
little bit.
branching out a little bit,
But this is mainly it.
this is mainly it.
So let me ask you then. We're back at the casino. I'm gonna ask you, and I've been finishing this with most of the people. So I want to ask you about two groups of people. Number one is people in Ignite You. So there's new people. We have tons of people joining just right and left. Our membership is over 450 now. There's people who have been around for a while. There's people who are members who haven't been coming, but we have a number of members. What's your advice to anyone in our membership right now? What should they be doing to build their business? Give them the words according to Eric and Phanya. In the networking, what do they need to be doing?
I think one of the biggest things that someone had mentioned probably about 4 or 5 months into it is, and you said it in the video too, but if you're coming here to just sell, then you're screwing yourself. Make relationships. When we came in, we didn't really have any friends. Now we've got, I've got a ton of people now that I can rely on. I don't have to do business with them, but I can call them up and we can go have coffee. I know we got to make more time for that, but don't come in and sell. Come in, build the relationship, get to know the person, find out what makes them tick, and set up one-to-ones and
Listen to their story.
So make it more about creating the relationship than selling something.
Yeah.
I just got a call last night from someone who said that they sat down with someone and they were immediately just trying to sell them. And I just thought, oh my gosh. And it just never works, because people, it's almost like they repel you. They're like, I don't want to be around you. And they'll tell other people, yeah, you don't want to get to, meet these guys or this person, because they're just going to try to sell you on everything. So showing up, getting to know people, creating friendships, relationships, which I think that's the big thing that I really want people in the group to know about you guys is that you have great personalities, but when you came to us, you didn't even know what networking was. So you weren't this professional networker, and you're still not. I don't think any of us really are. But I think you're really good at creating relationships. And those relationships turn into people who go, you know what, I want to do business with Phanya and Eric. And I think that's why you guys have created that success. And I think it's gonna create even more. And you guys go overboard to include people in the Ignite You family and your family, and doing stuff and keep those things going. And I think that's what's big for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've had barbecues, and we kind of spur of the moment just invite a few people that we've built relationships with or want to build relationships with, or but we're kind of last minute just because we look at our schedule and it's like, okay, we got some free time, or
It's tough for you to plan your stuff out, I know, isn't it? So the next group I want to ask you about, so there's people out there who are not members of Ignite You yet. And it doesn't matter to me what business they're in, because my personal opinion is networking works for any business. I think professional people should be networking because you just don't know. Just like your opportunity to move in with Michelle Marconi and save your business. Well, you weren't going to Michelle to try to sell her something, and she wasn't coming to you to try to sell something. Mm-hmm. You guys, and you didn't even know her, and she came to you out of the blue. Had you not been networking just for professional purposes and get out there and meet people, that would have never happened. And so I'm a big believer that every professional business person out there should be networking. So I'm not going to talk about any particular business, but so for any business out there that's not an Ignite You member yet, and maybe they're going to see this video on YouTube, because we're going to put it on YouTube, and we'll share it out on Facebook and share it out on LinkedIn. What would be your advice for someone who is not an Ignite You member yet that may consider checking us out?
You want to go for this?
Oh, hell no!
I was gonna say, please repeat the question.
What advice would you give to people who aren't members yet? They're in the business community, and they might take a look at Ignite You, might consider joining, but if they're not a member of Ignite You yet, what kind of advice would you give them?
I'd say come in, check it out. Don't be intimidated by the large group, because it is a really big family who want to see others succeed. I mean,
It's fun.
it's fun. It's entertaining. It's entertaining, and you never know what's gonna.
So just get your butt in here and check it out.
Yes.
Is that a good one?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, hell no! All right, we are back at the casino, and we're gonna this just went on for 33 minutes. I love having these guys in the car and just watching them build their business. So here's what you got to do. If you're an Ignite You member, even if you're not, you got to get in here and you got to meet these guys. If you haven't had a chance yet, you have to connect with them. You have to find out what they're doing. You need to go get a massage. I haven't had a massage by Phanya yet. I go to Eric. People always ask me, they go, why do you go to a guy? Shouldn't you go to a woman? And I'm like, well, I don't know. This guy has strong hands, strong like tractor. He has the strongest dang hands, and he makes me cry when I go in, which is why I might not go see him as often as I should, because I come out like, oh. But these guys are awesome at what they do, but they are really great networkers, and they don't even know what that term means. What they're really great at is making friends, and people do business with their friends, and that's why they're so successful. They're really good at making friends and making long-lasting friendships. So if you haven't met them yet, you got to come in here. We're going to go in here. It's Tuesday. We're going to get ready for our networking group. You got to get in here and meet them. Come in on Friday and meet them whenever, but you got to connect with these guys and have them introduce you to some people around. And I think you'll benefit from knowing these guys big time. Thank you guys for coming.
All right.
Phanya,
Thank you for having
love
us.
having you guys. We'll see you guys real soon. Have a great day,
All right.
everybody.
Bye.